All right, it's your boy Beans. Day two of removing this tent. Today, well, I'm gonna call this somebody's house. If you look how big this thing is, it's probably at least, man, I don't even know, 30 foot long. Anyway, I brought a knife today, so I'm gonna cut all of this out here right now and then start banging it up. I will need both hands for this. So I'm gonna have to not videotape this for a little bit, cut all these down, and then start bagging it up. All right, I kind of messed up over there. As you can see, I've cut down a bunch of it. Got a little pile going over here. The problem is that piece that's kind of hanging. Apparently there was a big old wasp nest in there. So when I went over there and started yanking on that one, started getting swarmed by the wasps. So I ran back over here. And yeah, they look pretty angry. So I'm going to pick up what I can of this today. We'll have to return tomorrow to remove the rest of this, as these wasps are very angry over there, and there are quite a bunch. And yeah, I know how they get out here. They are not friendly bees. So all right, I'm gonna go pick up some of that. Okay, here we go. Hopefully those bees will leave me alone, since I'm relatively, I'm about 15 feet away. So let me throw this down, put some stuff in the bag. All right, back to it. Look at all this plastic. Can you believe somebody lived in a plastic house? I mean, I'm sorry for you if you live in a plastic house. It really sucks. Maybe your life is great, I'll be honest. You don't have to have a bad life to live in a plastic house. It just sucks that you don't live in a regular house or something, Like, why didn't you get a canvas tent or something, Anyway, you probably had a good time when you look at where you are. I mean, they built a whole kitchen, it looks like, in here. There's a tripod, and oh, those bees, the bees are buzzing. The bees are buzzing. Get out of here, bees. Leave me alone. Well, slowly but surely we will eliminate this tent. But let me put this down again for 1 second here. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Slowly but surely eliminating plastic. Let's see. What can I comment on today? Water generators. Atmospheric water generators. Has anybody heard of an atmospheric water generator? Basically, it sounds like a fancy name for a dehumidifier. And it is. Oh, I've got to sneeze. Woo. Man, look at all this. Just stuck. Atmospheric water generators, aka a dehumidifier. Basically, right now, it's a dehumidifier on steroids, right? It's just a high-powered dehumidifier with probably some water filters in it to clean the water after it's been condensed and collected. Now, this is actually a pretty nice tripod, I must say. Very heavy duty. Unfortunately, it's been baking out here in the sun, but I will say it's actually not bad. It's very heavy. It looks like it's made out of aluminum. Yeah, it needs a little fixing up, but it's definitely not horrible. Anyway, thing about atmospheric water generators is they require power, a lot of power. Right, because they just need to be running like a dehumidifier. And if you know anything about This looks like it's a bicycle trainer. Jesus, I'm just getting... What I don't like about this is how when you're breaking this stuff apart, it just turns into a million pieces and gets in the air. And there's a good chance you're inhaling it, which sucks, but such is life. Anyway, atmospheric water generator. Basically a fancy dehumidifier. But when thinking about ways to get water consistently in the desert just to drink for survival, you know, and you don't want to, say, dig a well. I really don't want to dig a well. What is the one thing, though, that you have a lot of in the desert? And that would be sunlight. So the nice thing is that in the desert, you really can use the sunlight, and if I'm not mistaken, probably a good amount of wind at night also, to run an atmospheric water generator, at least part of the day while the sun is shining, and collect water. You can run it at night using a battery, of course, but it probably will suck up your battery pretty quickly. But it's a cool idea, although albeit expensive. But how expensive is it in comparison to not having water? That's the real question. I mean, okay, I know the bees are like right over there. I'm trying to be careful here. They still look unhappy. They're all buzzing around where I messed with their little wasp nest over there. You know, the reality to me is that if I have so much solar power because the sun is out so much, I should be taking advantage of that. As you know, when you really think of like what's the most abundant form of energy wherever you are located, it's not always going to be the sun, right? But when you're in a flat desert without a lot of mountains or trees, then it is the sun. Hold on. Oh, this bag is about to be full. So we can hold about half a plastic house in a bag. Anyway. Yeah, okay, well that's pretty much full at this point. Alright, you're going to have to tie that up. Call it a day here, okay. Well, got a nice full bag today of plastic. About half the house is down. The other half of the house is being protected by those wasps. I'm going to have to come early tomorrow and get that down before the wasps wake up. Anyway, so really an atmospheric water generator, it's not a horrible idea because there's plenty of solar power to run it. And then you'll be creating your own drinking water from the atmosphere and not pulling it out of the ground. Reducing your need for filtration for sure, because if that's your main source of drinking water, that means like your rainwater and stuff, you don't have to filter it nearly as much if you're going to be using it for other things, you know. So not that rainwater has to be filtered much depending on what type of roof you're catching it on, but anyway, what I'm saying is that an atmospheric water generator is a pretty decent idea. The only problem is how expensive they are. The tabletop model is somewhere around $1,800. Now, $1,800 is a lot of money, but if it produces water continuously, like you have to do the balance of how much does it cost to get water to your house, gas, all that pollution, versus like, okay, send me this machine I can plug in, pollute once basically, use my solar panels that, you know, that I already have to generate the power, which will then give me water. So really, when you think about it, it's a way to turn sunlight into water, which is pretty interesting to go from sunlight to water. In nature, it usually goes sunlight evaporates the water. So, hey, there you go. Anyway, I hope you're having an amazing day. I am going to go walk. I have to actually get through this nightmare over here where there's more plastic for me to pick up. You can see the dog found a good spot to hang out. I got to walk back over there. The path is up past these trees, and then I've got to walk through the woods a bit before I get down to the road to the house. So I hope you're having an amazing day. Don't work too hard. Happy Monday, fun day, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Peace.